Hello everyone, I am Rohit Pandita. Now we are going to discuss more topics on database management system. Data abstraction. What is the meaning of data abstraction? Uh, to make a database a system useful, it needs to retrieve data quickly and efficiently. This requirement for speed has pushed designers to create complex way of organizing and storing data inside the database. However, most people who use database system are not expert in computer science. Because of this, developers hide the complicated parts from users and make the system easier to interact with by creating different levels of abstraction. These levels help to simplify what users see and how they use the database without worrying about how everything works underneath. There are three types of levels in this. First is physical level, second is logical level, and third is view level. Physical level. The physical level is the lowest level of abstraction in a database system. It deals with how the data is actually stored on the hardware, such as on disk or other storage devices. Think of this level as the behind the scenes part of the database, where the raw data is organized and stored in file blocks and other formats. For example, imagine you have a huge library. The physical level is like the way the books are arranged on the shelves. You have sections, rows, and shelves to store them efficiently. Users do not need to know the exact location of every book. Second is logical level. The logical level is the middle level of abstraction. It describes what data is stored in the database and the relationship between different pieces of data without worrying about how the data is stored physically. This level defines the structure of the entire database and the rules for how the data is connected. For example, in our library analogy, the logical level is like the library catalog system. It tells you what books are available, their authors, and locations without needing to know exactly where each book is on the shelf, where each book is placed on. The next level is view level. The view level is the highest level of abstraction and is the part users interacts with directly. It shows only a part of the entire database that is relevant to the user. This level allows different users to see the data in different ways depending on their needs. For example, a librarian must see detailed information about every book, while a visitor might only see the books available for browsing. Now we are going to see the DBMS terminologies. Firstly, data independence. Data independence is a crucial feature in a database management systems that allows you to change the database structure at one level without having to make changes at a higher level. Imagine you have a different layers in your database, like foundation, wells, and roofs in a building. You can change the foundation without needing to change the walls or the roofs. The separation ensures that data is kept independent of the programs using it, which makes the system flexible and easier to maintain. Next is instance. It helps track the current state of data. You can use it to understand how the data evolves over time. Schema. Schema is like a blueprint or design for a database. It outlines the structure of the database, including how the data is organized. what type of data are stored, and the relationship between different data items. Now we are going to see the DBMS architecture. The types of database management system architectures. First is in one tier architecture. In one tier architecture, everything, the client, server and database, is on the same machine. The user directly interacts with the database through the database management system installed on the system. For example, when you are learning SQL and set up an SQL server on your own computer. Second is two-tier architecture. In this architecture, the client and server are on separate machines. The client sends requests to the server, which processes these requests and returns the result. For example, a web application, a website. Third is three-tier architecture. It includes three layers: the client, application server, database server. Database server manages the database. This setup enables scalability, security, and performance by separating the user interface, business logic, and data store. Client, the user interface like a web browser. Application server processes the business logics. Now we are going to see the server system architecture. Server systems are generally divided into two categories: transition servers and data servers. Transition server system, these are also called query server system. They allow client to send requests to perform specific actions. The server processes these actions and sends back the results. Processes. Client and sends transition, server executes them. Results are sent back to the client. Typically, client machines send transitions to the server, which processes them and returns the result to the client.